Hello everyone, my name is Gautam. Today I am presenting our documentary about Golkunda Fort, one of the most remarkable historical monuments in India. Located in city of Hyderabad in the state of Telangana, this fort stands as a powerful reminder of India's rich past, remarkable architecture and vibrant culture. Golkunda Fort is not just a structure made of stone walls and gates. It is a place where history, culture and stories of powerful kingdom come together. The fort is believed to have built around the 12th century and later became one of the most important centers of power in southern India. The name Golkunda comes from the Telugu word Gollakonda, which means Shepherd Hills. According to local legends, a shepherd once discovered a scared idol on this hill, and eventually a fort was constructed at the same place to protect region. Over time, Golconda Fort grew into a massive fortified city. It became famous for its strong defense, advanced architecture, and its connection to the world's diamond trade. Many valuable diamonds that are famous today were once traded here. In this documentary, we will explore the history of Golconda Fort, the rulers who built and expanded it, its unique architecture, its role in the diamond trade, the daily life of people living inside the fort, and finally the event that led to its fall.
My name is Shwet Mishra. The origin of Golconda Fort can be traced back to the 12th century when it was first built by the Kakatiya dynasty. During the time of the fort was relatively small and maintained constructed using the mud and a simple defensive structure. The Kakatiya rulers built the fort on top of the hill so that they could observe approaching enemies from the distance. This location gave them a natural advantage for defense. Later in the 6th century, the region come under the control of Qutub Shahi dynasty. Under their rule, Golconda Fort was greatly expanded by transformed into a manufacturer stones and fortress. The Qutub Shahi rule added massive quantities walls and large gates, watchtowers and places mosques and garden inside the complex. Golconda soon became a capital of their kingdom and rule of the most important political and economical center of their region. During the period, the city around the fort grew rapidly. Traders, artisans, soldiers and scholars came to live and work here, making Golconda the thriving and prosperous city. The Qutub Shahi rulers were also known for promoting arts, culture, architecture. Many beautiful structures built during their region and can still inside of the fort today. Because of its strong defensive and growing wealth, Golconda Fort one of the most powerful kingdom in southern India during the 16th and 17th century.
is V.S. Rajvardhan and I am from Batch 33. One of the most fascinating aspects of Golconda Fort is its brilliant architectural design. The fort was carefully planned to provide both security and functionality. Golconda Fort is built on a large guarantee hill and is surrounded by strong outer walls that stretch for several kilometers. These walls are several meters thick and were designed to protect the fort from enemy attacks. The fort has 8 main gates and more than 80 bastions, which were used by soldiers to watch for enemies and defend the fort during battles. Each gate was heavily reinforced with iron. One of the most unique features of Golconda Fort is its famous acoustic system. If a person claps their hands at the main entrance gate, the sound can travel all the way to the top of the fort, nearly a kilometer away. This clever design was used as a warning system so guards at the top could be alerted if visitors or enemies arrived at the entrance. The fort also had a sophisticated water management system. Rainwater was collected in large reservoirs and distributed through channels and pipelines to different areas inside the fort. These engineering innovations show how advanced the builders of Golconda Fort were even several centuries ago.
Even though the fort was built on a high granite hill, the people who designed it created a very clever way to bring water to the entire fort. Water was very important for the people who lived inside the fort. Soldiers, royal families, workers, and visitors all needed water for drinking, cooking, and daily activities. During times of war, the fort could be surrounded by enemies for many months, so it was very important to have a reliable water system. The builders of Golconda Fort solved this problem by designing large reservoirs and water storage tanks. Rainwater was collected and stored in these tanks. This helped the fort store enough water for long periods. Engineers also created a network of channels and pipelines that carried water to different parts of the fort. These channels were carefully designed so that water could flow from higher areas to lower areas using gravity. Another interesting feature was the use of Persian wheel systems and other mechanical methods to lift water to higher parts of the fort. This technology helped move water to places that were located higher on the hill. Because of this smart design, the people living inside the fort always had access to water. Even during long sieges, the fort could survive because its
Inside the historic Golconda Fort complex, there are several structures that reflect the cultural and religious life of the people who once lived here. Among them is an important temple dedicated to Jagdamba Devi, commonly known as Jagdamba Temple. This temple is believed to have existed since the time when the fort was under the rule of the Kakatiya dynasty, who were known for supporting Hindu temples and culture. Even after the fort later came under the rule of Qutub Shahi dynasty, the temple continued to exist, showing that people of different religions lived and practiced their tradition peacefully within the fort. The Jagdamba temple is located within the fort complex and is considered a sacred place by many devotees. The temple is dedicated to the goddess Jagdamba, a form of the divine mother in the Hindu belief. Devotees worship the goddess as a symbol of strength, protection, and prosperity. Although the temple is relatively small compared to many large temples in India, it holds great historical and spiritual significance. The architecture is simply yet beautiful, design that reflect the style of earlier periods. Even today, visitors to Golconda Fort often stop at this temple to offer prayers. During important Hindu festivals such as Navratri, the temple becomes especially active with devotees who come to seek blessing from the goddess.
My name is Puskar Kumar. Golconda Fort is famous not only for its architecture and history, but also for the connection of the global diamond trade. During the 16th and 17th century, the region surrounding Golconda was home to some of the richest diamond mines in the world. Diamonds extracted from these mines were traded in the market near the fort. Trade from many different countries visit Golconda to buy and sell their precious stone. Because of this trade, Golconda became extremely wealthy and well known across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Several of the world most famous diamonds are believed of the originated from the Golconda mines. One of the most famous example of the legendary Kohinoor diamond, which later became part of the British crown jewel. Another well-known diamond associated with the region of the Hope diamond, which is known for its rare deep blue color. The wealth generated by the diamond trade helped the Qutb Shahi ruler build grand palace, mosque and other structure inside the fort. Because of this, Golconda became one of the most prestigious, influential kingdom of its time. Golconda Fort was very strong and carefully planned. Protecting the kingdom was the responsibility of many soldiers who lived inside the fort. These soldiers granted the gate, watched the wall and stayed alert for any possible attack. The fort had many watchtowers where guards could observe and surrounding land from the high position. From this tower, soldiers could see enemy approaching from far away. The early warning allowed them prepare for defense. The fort massive stone wall also played an important role of the security. The wall was built using a strong granite stone, very thick, because this enemy should be extremely difficult to break through them. The gate of the fort was especially designed for protection. Another interesting feature was the famous associate system of the main entrance. If someone clapped near the gate, the fort was also several layers of defense. Even the enemy entire one area still had a passage through many more gates and wall. Because all these defense feature, Golconda Fort remained safe and powerful many years.
Hi, I am Parmarthi Ji from batch 31, going to tell about life inside the fort. Golconda Fort was not only a military fortress but also a bustling city where thousands of people lived and worked. Inside the fort there were royal places where the kings and their families lived. These places were decorated with beautiful architectures and served as centers administrations and royal activities. There were also houses of soldiers, officers, craftsmen and traders who supported the functioning of the kingdom. Market inside the fort were filled with merchants selling goods such as textile, spices, jewelry and precious stones. These markets attracts traders from different regions and cultures. The fort also had religious buildings including mosques where people gathered for prayers and community activities. Another impressive features in Golconda Fort was its water systems. Large tanks stored rainwater and carefully designed channels carried water to the various parts of the fort. The presence of the secret tunnels and escape routes also shows carefully. The fort was designed to protect the rulers during the times of dangers. Life inside Golconda Fort was lively and dynamic and reflecting purposely and cultural diversity of the kingdom.
The highest and important part of Golconda Fort is known as a Bala Hisar. The name Bala Hisar means upper fort or the high fort. This area was the main royal and military center of the fort because it was located at the highest point. It provided a clear view of the entire surrounding region. From the Bala Hisar, the ruler and soldier could watch their enemies approaches from far away. This helped them to prepare for the attackers and protect their kingdom. The Bala Hisar area also had a royal hall, and their king and official held important meeting. Decision about the administration, defense, and the air management of the kingdom were made here. This part of fort was also used at last line of defense. If enemy managed to enter the lower part of the fort, the soldier could retreat to Bala Hisar and continue defending the kingdom from there. Climbing to the top of the fort required walking through main gates and stairs. This made it difficult for enemy to reach the highest point quickly. Today visitors come to climb Bala Hisar can see the beautiful view of the city Hyderabad from the top of it. Easy to understand why this place was chosen to the center of fort.
My name is Aftab Alex. Golconda Fort was very strong and well protected. It was finally captured by the Mughal Empire. In the year 1687, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb decided to attack Golconda Fort. At that time, Golconda Fort was a very rich kingdom because of its diamond trade and strong economy. Aurangzeb wanted to control his region and its wealth, so he sent a large Mughal army to attack the fort. The Mughal soldiers surrounded the fort and started a long siege. A siege means surrounding a fort and cutting off food, water and supplies so that the people inside cannot survive for long. However, Golconda Fort was very strong. The walls were thick, the gates were strong, and the soldiers inside the fort were ready to defend their kingdom. Because of this, the Mughal army could not easily enter the fort. The battle continued for many months. Both sides faced many difficulties during this time. According to many historical stories, the Mughal army was finally able to enter the fort because someone inside secretly opened one of the gates at night. Once the Mughal soldier entered the fort, they quickly took control of the area. After this, the rule of the Qutub Shahi dynasty came to an end. Golconda Fort then became of the Mughal Empire. This event marked the end of the Golconda period of Golconda. Although the kingdom ended, the fort still stands today as a powerful symbol of history and bravery.
Hello everyone, my name is Sudhanshu Sekhar. Today, Golconda Fort remains one of the most important historical landmarks in Hyderabad. Although many parts of the fort are now in ruins, its massive walls, grand gates and impressive structures still reflects its power and glory of the past. Every year, thousands of tourists from India and around the world visit Golconda to explore its fascinating history and architecture. One of the most popular attractions at the fort today is the evening sound and light show, which tells the story of Golconda's history through dramatic narration, music, and lightning effects. From the top of the fort, visitors can also enjoy a breathtaking view of the city of Hyderabad. Golconda Fort reminds us of the achievements of the past and the importance of preserving historical monuments for future generations. By protecting and respecting such heritage sites, we ensure that the stories of history continue to inspire people around the world.